Right, in this video we are going to be doing some computation practice, adding and subtracting decimals for the TEKS. This is 5.3K, adding and subtracting rational numbers. I'm going to skip around a little bit because I want to really focus in on the problems where the number of places behind or to the right of the decimal is not the same. So I'm not going to focus a bunch on ones that are the same. I'm going to try to do 2 addition and I'll do 2 subtraction where the number of digits are different. So I'm going to skip number 1 and I'm going to start on number 2. All right, so I've got 84 and 966 thousandths plus 41 and 7/10. So when I set this up, I've got to remember to line up my decimals. And I've got to be very careful about my place value and how I have it set up. I need to make sure everything is lined up well. Now, when we're adding, it doesn't make that much of a difference if we have the zeros in there, but it really can cause problems when we're subtracting. So I'm going to go ahead and get in the habit of writing extra zeros in if I need it. And then once I have it set up and my decimals are lined up, I can go ahead and start the computation part. So 6 plus 0 is 6, 6 plus 0 is 6, 9 plus 7 is 16, carry my 1, 1 plus 4 plus 1 is 6, and 8 plus 4 is 12. It's kind of a creepy looking number. About to get 126 and 666 thousandths. All right, let's go down to number 5. I'm going to get that off the frame. That's creeping me out a little bit. I'm going to go down to number 5, and it's another addition problem, but it's got a different number of digits after the decimal. All right, so we're going to have 30 and 220 thousandths plus 25 and 9/10. Now the thing I could do on this, and I think I will do it, this 0 at the end, it doesn't really change the value of the number at all. So I'm actually gonna mark it out because I don't need it. So that'll change my number to 30 and 22 hundredths plus, I need to make sure my decimals are lined up, 25 and 9/10. And again, for addition, it's not that big a deal if I put this 0 in here or not, but I really need it when I'm subtracting, and I need to remember to do that when I'm subtracting, so I'm just going to get in the habit of doing that. 2 plus 0 is 2, 2 plus 9 is 11, carry my 1, 1 plus 0 plus 5 is 6, 3 plus 2 is 5, and so my answer is 56 and 12 hundredths. Now if I'd had that 0 on the end, you can see it would not have changed the value at all. I still would have ended up with 56 and 12 hundredths, or 56 and 120 thousandths, which is the same thing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do number 6, and I think I'm going to do number 7. I think those will be 2 good ones to focus on for subtraction. So number 6, we've got 95 and 8/10 minus 68 and 65 hundredths. So I've got to line my decimals up. Now this is where being in the habit of writing those extra zeros is really going to help out, because I need to remember there's a 0 here. And if there's a 0 here, then when I'm subtracting here, that's hopefully going to keep me from making an error. So I've got to regroup a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and mark this out and do a 10. And if you regroup at the beginning like I just did, or if you do it as you go, either way is fine, as long as you are making sure you're following your regrouping rules. All right, so 10 minus 5 gives me 5, 7 minus 6 is 1, 15 minus 8 is 7, and 8 minus 6 is 2, so I get 27 and 15 hundredths. And I'm going to do number 7. I'm going to do it kind of over to the side here. I've kind of used up some of my space. So I've got 68 and 1/10 minus 8 and 388 thousandths. Now, this is where you can get into trouble if you're not careful, because if you don't remember to put those zeros there, I might say, okay, that's going to be 8 and that's going to be 8, which I've seen students make that error quite a bit. But you have to remember there are zeros here. They may not be written in this number here, but there are zeros, literally forever, coming after that decimal. I don't need to write them because it doesn't change the value of the number. But when I'm doing something like this, I want to, because I need to remember this is going to be 0 minus 8. Well, that means I have to regroup. So I regroup from here, and then I'm going to regroup from here, and then from here, and then from here. So I'm regrouping all the way across. 10 minus 8 gives me 2. 9 minus 8 is 1. 10 minus 3 is 7. Make sure my decimals lined up. 17 minus 8 is 9. 5 minus nothing is 5. So I end up with 59 and 712 thousandths. So remember, biggest thing when we're adding and subtracting decimals, make sure those decimals are lined up. And if we have a different number of digits to the right of the decimal, go ahead and fill in those blank spaces with zeros. That way, there's no confusion when you go to do the computation part, because then you're just adding and subtracting numbers, which you've been doing for a long, long time.